This is every Scadutree fragment you can get without fighting a boss in the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. I've performed this route on multiple characters including a level 1, so the route is easy to perform on pretty much anything. The first fragment is at the 3-path cross side of Grace. Fragment 2 is southeast of that, on an enemy holding a pot. Fragment 3 and 4 are to the south, at the Church of Consolation. Fragment 5 is at the main gate cross outside Ballarat. Fragment 6 is inside Ballarat, and I will be showing the path for this one and other ones that are inside dungeons. If this video helps you, don't forget to like and subscribe, share with your friends who are playing the DLC. It's going to be pretty handy for some of them really tricky bosses. Fragment 7 is south of the main gate cross following this path. The dotted line indicates paths that aren't quite visible on the map. This fragment will be on an enemy holding a pot. Fragment 8 is inside a small camp outside Castle Ensis. Fragment 9 is southeast of the previous one, at the Pillar Path cross. Fragment 10 is inside Castle Ensis, at the Castle Ensis checkpoint Grace and Cross. Fragment 11 is on quite the journey south, looping around the riverbed and ending at the Cerulean Coast cross. West of that is the Cerulean Coast west side of Grace, and the path to Fragment 12. Fragment 13 is on a mini-boss in the red area of the coast, we will mark that for later. Fragment 14 is in the Jagged Peaks, which I'm not sure that you can enter without killing a boss, so we will just mark it for later. South of the Cerulean Coast cross, we will enter the fissure to grab a Grace we will need to access later. Back at the castle front Grace, this is how we access Shadow Altus early. You can obviously skip this if you already have access. From Morth Highway south, we will take this path to pick up the map fragment and then Fragment 15 at the High Road cross. The camp outside the Shadow Keep holds Fragment number 16. The Church of the Crusade holds Fragment 17 and 18. The small camp outside the Morth Ruins holds Fragment 19. "20 is at the Morth Ruins cross. "21 is north of that at the mouth of this cave. 22 is in the Morth Ruins on a pot holding enemy. Next is another Spirit Spring leading up to the Shadow View Cross in Fragment 23. Next we need to enter Bonnie Village, which is accessed through the Morth Ruins following this path. Afterwards head north to pick up a gesture for later. Follow this path to trigger an event. Now we can head down the fissure down south to reach the Fissure Cross and Fragment 24. Back in Bonnie Village, we follow this path to reach the church district of the Shadowkeep. The Shadowkeep is very dense and very confusing, so I hope it isn't too hard to follow. You can sneak past these Fire Knights if you're too weak to fight them. Fragment 25 is on the hand of this statue. This path leads to the storehouse back section side of Grace. And then we can jump down for the first floor side of Grace. There are multiple ways to the 4th floor side of Grace in Fragment number 26, starting from the 1st floor first, and then the back section for 2 paths. The 1st floor path can be blocked off by pulling the lever found on the 6th floor. Now we'll head from the 4th floor to the 7th. You can also do this path backwards to get back to the 4th floor fragment. Follow this path to pull the lever. Now climb up the new path to reach Fragment 26. You can also grab the boss fight side of Grace for later. Back to the back section, we are now heading to the loft side of Grace. This path leads from the loft to the back gate, where we will find Fragment 27. You can perform the Oh Mother gesture that we picked up to open this secret entrance, but it doesn't lead to any fragments. The back gate boss fight is blocking us from accessing fragments 28 through 32, so we will just mark it for later. Back to the first floor, we will turn around and head back down the elevator and follow this path all the way to the Recluse's River side of Grace. From the Grace, we turn around and head down this path to the base of the waterfall for Fragment 33. Back at the Grace, we head down the tombstones where Fragments 34 and 35 are on mini-bosses, which we will mark. Heading south, we will reach a catacomb. The catacomb boss actually blocks a path down to another area that holds 3 more fragments, which we will mark. Very disappointing. Back to the first floor, follow this path to the Viaduct Minor Tower side of Grace. Heading left out of the gate will lead us to an elevator down to another mini-boss holding Fragment 39. Small detour back at the Morth Ruins to go pick up the Ra Ruins map and the Templetown Ruins side of Grace. From the Grace, follow this path south to reach Fragment 40 and the Two-Handed Talisman, which is really good. Back at the Viaduct Minor Tower, Grace, follow this path to reach the Ra Ancient Ruins east side of Grace and Fragment 41. Now back the way we came, we'll find another pot guy holding Fragment 42. Back at Ra Ruins East, we will head this way to Ra Ruins West, Grace. From the Grace, we'll head this way to find Fragment 43 on the ground. The boss at the front gate into Shadowkeep holds Fragments 44 and 45. And the last 5 fragments are in the last zone of the game which we cannot access. That leaves us with 31 fragments out of 50. We could collect 40 if we kill minor bosses. The last 10 are behind Remembrance bosses. This puts us at Scadutree Blessing level 13 before fighting a single boss. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching.